Everything explained in this video is summarized from the CoinMarketCap. And also, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for future XRP news and some other cryptocurrency news in general. Now take a look at this. Gary Gensler released a statement hinting at resignation as SEC chair. Before we move further, there is a new crypto airdrop now taking place on Telegram, which is about to launch on the 28th of this month. Please make sure you participate in this airdrop. The link is in the description of the video. Don't miss out on this. Now let's continue with our video. Gary Gensler, the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission, has made a startling statement in which he suggests that he might retire from his position. This is a momentous occasion in the realm of financial regulation. During his attendance at the 56th Annual Institute on Securities Regulation hosted by the Practicing Law Institute, Gensler made a reflective address in which he acknowledged both the accomplishments and the scandals that occurred during his term. In the wake of his remarks, industry insiders have begun to speculate about the future of the Securities and Exchange Commission, particularly in light of the agency's struggle to keep up with the quickly changing environment of Bitcoin and financial technology. One of the defining characteristics of Gensler's leadership has been an aggressive regulatory agenda, particularly in the cryptocurrency industry, where the Securities and Exchange Commission's increased monitoring has been both praised and criticized. While Gensler is reflecting on his time at the helm, he is also pointing out the difficulties that are still to come for the person who will succeed him. In the course of his address, Gensler discussed several important subjects, such as the capital markets in the United States, corporate governance, and transparency reform programs. His last statements, however, were the ones that garnered the most attention because they alluded to the possibility of a departure. Being able to serve alongside them, doing the work of the people, and making certain that our financial markets continue to be the best in the world has been an incredible honor. He also took a minute to applaud the dedication of the workers at the Securities and Exchange Commission this day, mentioning that they chose to serve the public despite the possibility of earning more money in the private sector. It seemed as though this acknowledgement of their efforts was a gesture of farewell, signaling the end of an era that was defined by heightened regulatory scrutiny. While Gensler was reflecting on his tenure, which began in 2021, he highlighted the significant projects that the SEC had undertaken while he was in charge. Significant reforms were implemented to bolster the market for the United States Treasury, which is worth $28 trillion, upgrading the regulations that govern the stock market, which is worth $60 trillion, and increasing efforts to guarantee that investors and issuers are treated equitably, problems with cryptocurrency. The regulatory posture that the SEC takes on crypto assets was another item that Gensler addressed in his speech. This was a highly contentious topic during his administration. He brought attention to the ongoing enforcement activities of the agency, pointing out that cases involving cryptocurrencies have consistently accounted for 5 to 7% of the SEC's overall enforcement burden since 2018. He repeated the long-standing position that Bitcoin is not considered to be a security, citing statements made by both himself and Jay Clayton, who had previously served as the chair of the Securities and Exchange Commission. A statement made by Gensler was that not every asset is a security. I, along with the former chairman Clayton, have both stated that Bitcoin is not a security and the commission has never considered Bitcoin to be a security. Gensler underscored the SEC's focus on consumer safety and market fairness, even though certain individuals in the cryptocurrency business have voiced their disapproval. It was during his tenure that the commission gave its approval to the first exchange-traded fund of that for Bitcoin futures in 2021. Subsequently, it gave its approval to exchange-traded products F4 physical Bitcoin and Ether. He pointed out that these ETPs at Ps offered investors the benefits that are associated with regulated products, such as increased oversight, reduced fees, and enhanced transparency. Gensler noted in his final remarks the significant problems that the Securities and Exchange Commission now is currently experiencing, particularly the quick rate of technology innovations in the financial sector, such as blockchain and cryptocurrencies. His comments gave the impression that even though his tenure as chair may be drawing to a close, the regulatory landscape will continue to develop and adjust to meet the requirements of modern digital financial ecosystems. On the other hand, the industry is waiting to see how Gensler's legacy will affect the future of financial regulation in the United States as speculation continues to rise surrounding his resignation and speculates about who would succeed him. After being sworn into office on January 20, 2025, President-elect Trump will have the option to restructure the leadership of the Securities and Exchange Commission say. This possibility will be available to him. This is something that the incoming president commits to the cryptocurrency business that he will accomplish on day one. On the other hand, the particular choices that are open to him will be determined by the acts taken by the current chair of the SEC, Gary Gensler, whose term will end in June of 2026. Commissioners of the Securities and Exchange Commission are appointed by the president and have to be confirmed by the Senate. If Gensler follows the established pattern and resigns before the day of the inauguration, President-elect Trump will propose a new seat for the SEC chair, subject to confirmation by the Senate. It is also possible that the issue may grow more complicated in the near term if Gensler chooses to remain, but this will have very little to no effect on the situation in the long term. Within the following paragraphs, we will examine the various scenarios and discuss the ramifications that they will have for the cryptocurrency business over the next few months. More specifically, we respond to the queries that are listed below. What will happen if Gensler decides to resign? What are the consequences of Gensler's refusal to resign? As a result of Gensler's resignation, the commission would consist of 4 individuals. It is expected that President Trump will submit a nomination for a new commissioner who will most likely serve as the chair to the Senate for confirmation. It would not be necessary for the Senate to vote on the nomination of a chairperson since President Trump would choose one from among the current commissioners while the nomination process is still in progress. 2. In this hypothetical situation, it is quite probable that President Trump would appoint either Commissioner Hester Pierce or Commissioner Mark Uida to the position of acting chair. If the commission were to reach a deadlock with a vote count of 2-2, it would mean that no contentious rulemaking or enforcement actions would be voted on until the 5th commissioner joined, which is a process that we anticipate may take many months to complete. However, the position of acting chair would be responsible for overseeing the day-to-day operations of the SE personnel. When it comes to cryptography, the acting chair may instruct staff members to the political procedures involved in nominating a new SEC following the resignation of Chair Gensler. President Trump would have the ability to fill 2 commissioner positions on the Securities and Exchange Commission, Gensler's and Commissioner Caroline Crenshaw's. Even though Commissioner Crenshaw's tenure officially ended in June 2024, she is permitted to continue serving until October 2025 unless the Senate appoints a replacement for her. Even though Commissioner Crenshaw, a Democrat, was renominated for a second term under President Biden, her nomination has not been voted on by the current Senate, and it is highly doubtful that it would move forward during the lame duck session. The information that has been provided is not intended to be trading advice. There is no responsibility for any investments that are made based on the information that is provided on this page. Before making any decision about investments, we strongly advise conducting independent research and consulting with a knowledgeable professional.